Stop holding on to the person God wants you to let go. Relationships can be hard work, but if God told you to let go of someone, it's important that you listen to Him. God is the one that knows best for your relationship needs, and He will send a better person when the time is ready. It's important not to hold on to people that God has already released from your life. By taking yourself out of the equation and letting go, you are actually handling situations more positively. How much energy did you spend thinking about them before? Have they consumed your thoughts enough? It can be painful when a relationship fails, and you must learn to let it go. Instead of holding on to the person God wants you to let go, take some time to consider what he or she might want in the future while they move on without you. Don't be afraid to tell the person that you have decided it is time for them to go. Maybe you are still waiting for the right time to let go of the person God wants you to let go. And if you're like most people, you may be holding on because you don't want to hurt their feelings. But in reality, letting go is the best thing for both of you. You find yourself clinging to people who no longer want you in their lives. Maybe it's someone you've been dating for a while, a colleague at work, or a lifelong friend. You feel like if you can just hold on, everything will be okay. But is that really what God wants for you? When we cling to people who no longer want us, we rob ourselves of the opportunity to find someone new and better. We're living in our own world, thinking only about how things used to be and how we might feel if we let go. And that's never going to lead to anything good. God wants us to step out into fresh territory and discover the amazing things He has in store for us. Let go of the person who isn't doing those things for us and open up your heart to something new. Let me give you 2 reasons why it is the best thing for both of you. Number 1, letting go will save you from getting hurt. This is because sadness and loneliness are 2 of the toughest emotions to deal with, but they're also some of the most common. Every single person experiences sadness at some point in their life, and every single person experiences loneliness at some point in their life. So holding on to someone who's hurting us only makes those feelings worse. In fact, according to research, holding on can actually cause more pain than letting go over time. That's why it's so important to remember that God is always in control. He knows what's best for us, and He's never going to hurt us more than we're already hurting ourselves. So instead of clinging to the person who's hurting us, we should let go and trust that God will take care of them. And believe me, letting go will actually make us feel better in the long run. If you're struggling to let go of someone who's hurting you, talk to someone who understands what you're going through. Talking to someone who understands what you're going through can be really helpful because they can give you some advice on how to deal with your emotions. And remember, talking isn't necessarily a sign that you need to keep holding on. It could just mean that you need to talk about what's going on with someone who understands you. Also, take a walk in a park or jump in a pool. Sometimes all we need is some fresh air or water to help clear our head and get our bearings. Number 2. Another reason why it is the best thing for both of you if you let go is that if you don't let go, it won't help them gain healing. Let me explain. It may seem like the perfect person at first, but eventually they'll hurt you just as much as they've been hurting you before. And that won't lead to any healing whatsoever. Healing happens when we forgive ourselves and others for our mistakes. Unfortunately, if you hold on to someone who's hurting you, they won't be able to receive forgiveness from God or from themselves. So if you persist in ignoring that person or trying to force yourself to forgive them or hoping that they will eventually stop hurting you, which rarely works anyway, then you will never gain any healing from the relationship. And at some point, unless you let go of them, it will only get worse. Why does God tell you to let go? There can be many reasons why God might tell us to let go of certain relationships or people in our lives. Sometimes these relationships simply don't serve our growth or long-term view, and other times they are just not the right fit. But whatever the reason, we often find it difficult to let go, especially when it feels like something important is being lost in the process. We may mistakenly think that if we hold on, things will somehow miraculously change or our partner will finally see what we see. But in reality, if we don't let go, we're only ensuring that the relationship won't progress or eventually fall apart. Here are 4 reasons why it's important to let go. 1. It will help you grow. When you allow yourself to let go of a relationship or person, you can move on and grow into something more pleasing to God. This doesn't always happen overnight, but through patience and persistence, you'll eventually become stronger for it. 2. It may cause you to repair broken relationships elsewhere. If you've been hurt or disappointed by someone before, releasing them from your life may help you find closure and repair those relationships elsewhere. It's never easy moving on from someone and letting go, but you'll eventually be better off for it. 3. You have to try harder when you're too attached to something. It's easy to stay in the same situation and not do your best. That doesn't mean it's a bad relationship. It just means that either you love them too much or their faults are holding you back somewhere else. 4, it can be harmful. While at times friends can be harmful, nothing beats a truly toxic friend whose intentions could get someone hurt or depressed. Some relationships and people don't have a happy ending long term because they can never be fixed or healed. God is there throughout all your achievements and disappointments in life, so release when needed. Reasons Christians may be holding on to a relationship they should let go. When somebody we love hurts us, it feels like the world has ended. We want to fix everything, and we become fixated on that person. But sometimes our fixation is because we're not seeing the truth. Here are 4 reasons Christians may be holding on to a relationship they should let go. First, fear of regret. The truth is that most of the time when we hold on to someone, we're only hurting ourselves. Eventually, if we don't let go, there's a good chance our loved one will leave us because they'll realize how much pain they're causing us. Secondly, feeling like we need them close to make up for something. Holding on to someone means that we're trying to make up for something that happened in the past. But sometimes the pain from the past is too big, and we can't bring ourselves to forgive or forget. Thirdly, believing that we deserve this person in our life. Holding on to someone always makes us feel bad about ourselves and encourages us to settle for less than we deserve. Why hold on to a person who doesn't like or appreciate you? So hoping that the relationship will be good and trying not to hurt their feelings by cutting them off may be the main reason we stay in an unhealthy relationship. How do you let go of the relationship God wants you to let go? There are a few things you can do in order to start the healing process and let go of the relationship God wants you to let go. First, it is important to realize that it is not your fault that the relationship isn't working. Whether or not you were able to fix whatever it was that was wrong with the relationship is irrelevant. Second, it is crucial to start communicating with God about what you want. Oftentimes, we won't realize how the situation has affected us until we have a breakdown and can finally articulate our feelings. Third, it's important to forgive yourself and the other person for whatever happened. This may be one of the hardest things to do, but it will help you move on. Finally, it's important to find someone new to connect with who will bring out the best in you. After all, life is just too short not to chase after what we really want. How do you overcome the anxiety and fear of aloneness that comes with ending a relationship? When a relationship ends, many people feel an intense anxiety and fear. This feeling can be so overwhelming that it becomes difficult to function day to day. Here are 5 steps you can take to overcome these feelings and start to live life again. 1. Acknowledge that you're feeling anxiety and fear. Sometimes we deny or downplay our feelings in order to cope. Recognize that these feelings are normal after a breakup, and don't try to push them away. Acceptance will help you feel more in control and less overwhelmed. 2. Talk about your emotions with someone. Talking about your emotions with someone who understands can be incredibly helpful. Talk about what's going on for you and let someone else listen without judgment. They may be able to provide some perspective or support to help you feel better. 3. Find new activities. When we're anxious or stressed, we often focus on the negative aspects of our situation instead of looking for the silver lining. Try focusing on something positive, planning some new activities you'll enjoy, going out with friends, etc., to take your mind off of things afresh. 4. Take care of yourself. Whether it's taking a break, grabbing a drink with your friends, or working out regularly, each of us is going to encounter daily stresses that make us anxious and worried. It can be beneficial to take a quick moment to regroup in order to keep on dealing with things going forward. In the long run, you'll see that you're much happier as a result. 5. Talk about your fears. Sometimes what scares us most about facing a situation or initiating new behavior really isn't all that bad once we slow down and take a look at it from another vantage point. Choosing not to will only leave us feeling more confused, frustrated, and worse. Refusing to talk about our feelings or investigate why we feel the way we do often leads to internal self-doubts and feelings of inadequacy. So in conclusion, if you are struggling with letting go of a person or situation in your life, there is help available. God desires for us to let go of what is not serving us and move on. This can be a difficult process, but it is necessary if we want to live a meaningful and successful life. There are steps we can take to help us let go, and we should not hesitate to seek out help from others if we find ourselves struggling. Remember that God will guide us and bless us as we undertake this transition.